I am potting up tomatoes today. I have some tomatoes that are quite leggy and spindly like this. So I want to establish a stronger root system and get them into deeper pots. And I have next size up. I don't know what they are. I think they're like a 5-inch pot. But I'm not going to use these ones. I am going to use tomato pots. So I've been making, this guy needs to get some water yet. But this is a tomato pot, and you can see how big it is, and that whole base will get a nice strong root system, and then this whole thing can be put into the ground. So to do tomato pots, you're going to need a tomato, some soil, and some newspaper, and a jar to make your paper pots. First things first, I like the bigger newspapers, and you can usually get them for free from your local store or gas station. And I do a 2-layer paper, and I keep the fold. That's why I like the longer papers. And then I use a quart jar. And this fold is going to be the top end of my paper pot, and the hole where the jar is going to be the other end. So all I do is I take this jar and line it up with the seam of the paper and roll. And this is where I will put my plant in. And this end, just squish it through. And there we have a paper pot. So once you have your paper pot, you're going to take your plant. This one has no leaves along it because I actually pruned the leaves off, but I'll show you on this one here. If I were to be repotting this one, I would remove all of these lower leaves. I would remove all the way to where the top of the pot is, so you can see. I would remove this leaf, and these 2 bottom leaves. And all along here, this tomato is going to grow a root system, and it's going to grow nice and strong and deep. So we're going to pot this spindly one. So you're just going to want to gently take it out of your pot. And I always take and just kind of put my pot around it and then slowly slide it in. And I just fill it up on all sides. And my soil is very loose and full of compost and worm castings, and I put a little bit of fertilizer in. Because I'm doing tomatoes, this is my tomato soil blend, which I add a little bit of powdered eggshells to. And I just gently push the soil down so that it's compacted a bit. And I pot it all the way up. So this whole thing is now soil. So, and just like that, we've potted up a tomato in a totally, I believe it's biodegradable pot. You can plant this whole thing in your garden. When you plant in your garden, you want to make a hole as deep as your pot. And you can actually even go deeper for tomatoes. So if you wanted to, you could remove this leaf and this other leaf and plant all the way up to this stem. Tomato plants have all of these tiny hairs growing along them, and all of these hairs are future root systems. So especially with indeterminate plants, if they touch soil, like when they droop over and they vine, if they touch soil, wherever they touch, they will start to form a root system. So you want to either allow them to spread out or hold them upright, because wherever they touch, they will root. So here is our lovely biodegradable, and this one doesn't have a plastic tag, of course, tomato. I grow a fair bit of indeterminate tomatoes, just because I like the variety. But the problem with indeterminates is that they are vining tomatoes and they can get long and leggy very quickly. And I make the mistake every year of seeding my indeterminates a little early. So I have to stake them. And this is what I use for staking. So these are last year's tansy sticks. And they are nice and strong and sturdy and perfect for getting your tomato plants to stand up. I will also collect these tansies and make like a teepee of sorts and tie them at the top for other vining type plants. But we just have these planted here. I think it came in like a wildflower mix and or a wildflower mix, and so they grow here every year in this rock garden that I have. And then in the springtime I come and clean out the dead sticks and use them to support my tomato plants. And it's a great way of cleaning up your flower beds, not purchasing something. And they are quite long, so I can either use them, the whole thing, on a vining tomato, or I can break it in half. But here's my sticks. So as you can see, my plants are quite droopy and they need a little bit of support. So I come in here and I support them. And with indeterminates, because they are a vining plant, you can actually wrap them around a piece of tansy. Oh, and we totally lost that one. And just like that, they're already standing up so much better. Thanks so much for watching my little paper pot tansy stick tomato planting video. And feel free to let me know in the comments if you use anything in your area to help support your tomatoes, or if you've got a favorite tomato variety, any gardening tips and tricks. It's always nice to share those things. So thanks for watching. Bye.